Answer TV, we're in Coburg. We're going to talk about new development, we're going to talk about future development, and we're going to show you some new business. Plus, we're going to look back at some ghost towns from the past. We're taking you to Scottsburg, we're going to go to Pacific City, which is no longer a ghost town, and my favorite story of all, Bay Ocean. Next on Rick to Answer TV. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. You drive through them on your way to someplace else. Spots on the side of the road. There might be a sign or a building, perhaps something to raise your curiosity for just a brief moment. But not enough to cause you to over and ask a few questions. In some cases, it's nothing more than an old dumpy building. But what would happen if on one of those journeys you did turn on your signal, pull over, and knock on a few doors? What would happen if you stopped by the symbol, read the names, and asked one or two questions of the first person who came by? That's what we're going to do tonight. So sit back and enjoy the trip. Good evening, I'm Rick to Answer. Oregon is home to dozens and dozens of ghost towns, and tonight photographer Ben McKee spent a half hour taking you to some of those places. You probably think that a ghost town has to be vacant to be considered a ghost town. That's not true. Many people call ghost towns their home. There's also a ghost town in Oregon that is coming back from its ashes. We're going to take you there as well. We begin our journey tonight in a little ghost town I bet you've passed through 100 times on your way to Coos Bay. It's a little place called Scottsburg. They came from Ireland, France, and places in between. The early settlers of Scottsburg, Oregon. Silent now. Their history left behind on tombstones, in old pictures, and in stories revisited by those who still live here.
She liked it here. Peaceful. So,
This was raised in Scottsburg.
there's a lot of them there that I'd have to look. A lot of the old timers were there. We had some characters that I guess every town does.
At one time, Scottsburg was a place where miners gathered supplies to head south to look for gold near Roseburg and beyond.
They run mule trains and pack trains from here to Roseburg. This was back in the 1800s, of course.
It was an shipping port.
It used to be the head of navigation, and sailing ships would come up there. And that's as far as up the river as they could get.
On this day, when we ran into Pat, his visit was not about Scottsburg or its history.
It was home. And like I say, my mother and father, I got brothers, sisters, all buried here.
As he carried the remains of his wife with him, this day was about his history, a period that had ended for him.
You want to get the history on Scottsburg, talk to Henry Freer. He lives right there in town. He's the unofficial mayor.
We'll come back to a little later. We found the mayor in what's left of Scottsburg, just down the road a bit. The way Henry Freer tells it, his great-grandfather's brother walked to Scottsburg from San Francisco over 100 years ago. How long has your family been here?
Oh, since 1851.
So you are Scottsburg?
Yeah, kind of.
Scottsburg was named after a businessman named Levi Scott. Scott owned the Mercantile, There used to be an upper, middle, and lower Scottsburg. The town was a center of commerce from the coast for those going south into California. This was the last stop for ship traffic. 2 floods in 1861 wiped out the lower and middle sections of Scottsburg. The highway came in, everything changed. Instead of stopping, cargo just bypassed Scottsburg. Now dozens of families live in the hills and backcountry surrounding the area. Just a few, like Mayor Henry, live in town.
Everybody does their own thing around here.
So what keeps people here?
The way I had it figured is a guy just will stay here. There's always work to be done around the local area. Why run all over the state? That's what they want you to do, and I won't do it.
Rugged individualists.
I kind of like everything the way it used to be, and I don't like the modern day stuff.
A place where the old ways work just fine. How is it decided who becomes mayor in Scottsburg?
Well, it just happens.
What do you mean
They start calling you mayor, and it just goes from there.
A place where personal freedom outranks everything.
I can kind of do what I want. I don't have to answer to anybody, more or less. I'm a freer, and I'm free right here.
A place where anyone can be mayor.
And I don't know. I ain't gonna be around for it.
Scottsburg, Oregon. A place people like Pat Thomas come back to forever. What's her name?
Barbara,
How long were you married?
almost 52 years.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
What are you going to miss the most about her?
Just miss everything about her, really. She's a special lady.
Find great deals on furniture, appliances, cabinets, and building materials at the Springfield Eugene Restore, benefiting Habitat for Humanity. Learn more at sehabitat.org.
Coburg's a really busy place these days. Once we finished our wastewater project, it's been just over 2-3 years. We've seen quite a bit of growth in the community. So we've effectively approved nearly 100 new homes, single-family residential homes here in Coburg, and we are 85 businesses strong this year. Now that the wastewater project's been finished, it's a great opportunity for the elected officials to go back to the community and really understand what they'd like Coburg to look like in the future, now that we've finished that focus area. And so we have an agreement with Rural Development Initiatives to work on a community visioning process, and its purpose really is to hear from as many Coburg voices as possible and ask them what they'd like to see the future of Coburg be. With that, we've had some kickoff meetings. We will have a big community meeting on March 16th. Where Rural Development Initiatives shares information about all the surveys that have been out, that kind of thing.
Hi, I'm Patrick Olson. I'm Patrick Olson Auto Repair here in Eugene. If you need a place where you can get your car serviced at a reasonable rate, fixed right the first time, every time, come see me at Patrick Olson Auto Repair. The reason I'm on this video right now is because I'm good friends with Rick. If Rick trusts me, you can trust me too.
Millennials. Lazy, spoiled, entitled, irresponsible. But are we? You know, it's funny though, because that's the same things that were being said about our parents when they were our age. I just don't buy it. All I hear in the media is that the world's going to hell. I want to feel like my voice matters. I want to feel like I have a place in this world. I want to hear about the good things that are happening in the world. So let's talk about all this real stuff. Let's have these conversations. I mean, why not?
The next coast town we're going to visit is called Bay Ocean. It's not far from Tillamook. In fact, right now we're standing in what could have been the downtown area. There was a post office, grocery stores, a big indoor wave pool, hundreds of homes. It was going to be the Atlantic City of the West Coast. And this is what's left.
In 1906, a real estate broker from Kansas City forgot that he wasn't in Kansas anymore. He understood the realtor's code that it's all about location, 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 but failed to fully grasp the power of the Pacific Ocean. A sign that leads to the peninsula where Bay Ocean used to sit tells the story.
City of Bay Ocean Park. 1906, T.B. Potter, real estate broker from Kansas City, dreamed of this peninsula being a second Atlantic city.
Jim Bennett is our guide. He lived at Bay Ocean when he was a kid.
Okay, so it came out here and then it got big, and that's where Bay Ocean was.
Yeah, that's where the town was.
Okay.
This is a sketch of what Bay Ocean was going to look like. Plots for homes, businesses, a resort, and places to play.
By 1914, 600 building lots were been sold.
Bay Ocean had its own that would bring visitors from Portland for a weekend of fun.
Consisted of a general store, post office, a 3-story hotel, bowling alley, tin shop, and bakery. The hotel had automatic fire sprinklers. There was an auditorium with a pool 50 by 160 feet.
This was the place to be, until something unspeakable, unbelievable, and unbearable began to happen.
All this was Bay Ocean. There's nothing.
Not a piece of concrete, not a water pipe, not a brick, nothing. Mother Nature reclaimed her sand spit. So what went wrong in Bay Ocean?
They built the north jetty and it was fine, but they needed a south jetty to protect the ocean-going vessels and logs and stuff like that. But with just a north jetty, it created the currents to be different.
The community lost it. The change in ocean current became a nightmare. The ocean literally washed Bay Ocean into the sea. Developers went broke, investors lost everything.
Over 20 homes had fallen in the sea by 1949.
Some tried to save their homes.
Of 59 homes and summer cottages, only 5 were moved in time.
You can find them nearby at Cape Mears. Survivors of a disastrous dream, dashed by misfortune, bad planning, and an ocean that does what she wants.
Francis B. Mitchell bought the first lot in 1907. He was the last to leave in 1952.
Old-timers say in the end, Mitchell was so distraught, he would carry wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow of sand to the ocean, trying to save the sand spit and his investments.
On February 15, 1960, the last house washed into the sea, and the city of Bay Ocean was but a dream.
Hello, I'm Leona Houston with Country Financial. I've spent years in our community helping families protect their homes, their cars, and their lives. Complete financial security doesn't end with insurance. I'm also here to help you plan for your retirement. I'm backed by a team of professionals that can help you achieve your goals. Together, we'll set up a step-by-step plan to help you reach your financial security. Let's talk soon.
We have a new sponsor, a realtor, Equinox Real Estate, Katie Hallert. She's a real good friend of mine. She's someone I trust and you can trust. She's reliable, she's friendly, she'll work for you so hard. She's awesome. And right now she's looking for inventory. Housing market is just crunched and they need houses because there's people out there who really want to buy right now. So if you know somebody who's retiring, maybe their kids have all moved out and they're thinking about selling, now is a good time to contact Katie Hallert, Equinox Real Estate. She is the person to deal with.
A great foundation is everything. My grandfather immigrated from Italy. He taught me our family recipes. Foundations are important. Strong foundations are essential to everything good. Coburg Pizza Company, reimagining pizza one bite at a time.
It's hard to keep a ghost town to yourself when you're located on the Oregon coast. 40 years ago here in Pacific City, there was a gas station on the corner, a couple of restaurants, a lot of vacation homes, but it was nothing like it is today. How do you keep a ghost town from being discovered? Don't ask the folks in Pacific City.
Well, now that's the funniest thing I ever, it was nothing. I mean, there were a few houses.
Dorothy Wertman first visited Pacific City in 1922. She's 85, you do the math, it was a long time ago.
There was no business over here at all. When I was in high school, the hotel that they just tore down was over where the Mexican place is now, and there was a little post office.
Her granddad was a banker from McMinnville. He and his cronies built the first string of houses on the hill, now called McMinnville Row. Dave Baxter remembers coming to Pacific City when it was basically a ghost town.
Yeah, we were 16, so 40 years ago almost. Was nothing here. It was a dive. I thought I'd never come back here again.
For years, Pacific City just lumbered along. A few new homes. Businesses swapped owners after winter cycles and storms drove dreamers away. 10 years ago, a developer moved in, bought up a bunch of property, and started developing the town.
Not a ghost town anymore.
Business is booming.
And now? And now I live here. Now I work here.
Housing developments are sprouting up faster than townspeople can keep up with. A beach that used to be spotted with an occasional house is now blanketed in a sea of roofing, windows, and other materials.
But I don't think there are any of the old-timers that like it at all. We liked it the way it was.
The days of fishing cabins and tacky stores are over, replaced by Cape Cod homes, Cedar Shake motels, a microbrewery, and swanky shops. Property values are through the roof.
When we came here, high end was between 150 and 200. Now you're looking $300, $400, $500, $600, $2 million homes in Pacific City.
Even she says the growth is too much, too fast. And she's a realtor. Soon there will be even more development.
Hate it. We don't even talk about that. I'm serious. I absolutely hate it.
A new spa, coffee shops, another restaurant. It's not the sleepy little fishing village it used to be when Dorothy was a kid. This is one lost town had the ghosts chased out of it, and it's highly doubtful that they'll ever find their way back. Another friend we're bringing on board as a sponsor for our Rick Dancer programming is Brinker's Restoration Contractors. Carlos is a friend of mine, and he just signed up to do this because he really believes in the power of you. And what he does is he comes into your home. If you had water damage from the recent storms, or your toilet overflowed and ruined your floor, or just damaged some things, honestly, just about anything, your shower's leaking, you just need somebody who can come in and has a top-notch crew, can take care of the issues that are bothering your home, and make you feel at ease. And he's super fair. I know this guy. I trust this guy, and he will not overcharge you. In fact, if anything, Carlos does stuff that he shouldn't probably do for free. He's super helpful, and he's a good guy. So that's Brinker's Restoration Contractors. I'll put their logo up here. Pay attention to our sponsors, because these are the people that make all of this programming possible. And when you go in there, tell them you saw it on Rick Dancer TV.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people, and I love to make people feel good.
Every month, Ranchito Grill and Rick Dancer TV work to give away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner. All you have to do is go to Ranchito Grill, put your name, your phone number, drop it in the bucket under the Rick Dancer TV sign. We'll draw a name, and this month, Bev Cook, you are the lucky winner. And we're here with Robert Killen, the Chamber President in Coburg, to find out a little bit more about what's going on in the business community. So what are you excited about here?
Well, Coburg has been a thriving small community for years, but over the last, say, 10 years, there's been a slip with the downturn, but Coburg is making a huge change right now, a huge shift up. We have lots of new development. We've got a brand new or incoming development with retail and apartments. We've got the Eggies, who've taken over a spot in Direct Center downtown with Farm Fancy, which is a new store that'll be available. That's perfect for us.
What kind of plants and?
It's actually a lot of constructed art pieces and functional art that all has a farm theme. The Eggies have a farm out here, a very well-known farm, and they're bringing their art and aesthetic to downtown with the store for gifts.
Is so cool.
It's awesome. It's going to be a fantastic space. And we have a lot of motion. A lot of the old buildings that had been sitting needing something to happen over the last few years have been purchased and have been upgraded. The old Coburg Inn is now the Bronco Saloon, and the old Depot station, the old Depot building, was purchased by a lawyer here in town. So everything's moving in the right direction.
So you don't want Coburg to just become a bedroom community. You want to have a business. You have a thriving business on I-5, a section out there that you're trying to work on.
Yeah, we've got, when I moved to town, that was the first thing that I noticed. We've got all this business happening along I-5, but how do we get them to coordinate and connect with downtown and what's happening here? Because it's separated geographically by about a half a mile, and it seems like 50 miles in terms of culture. So bringing them in and engaging with them, that's one of the reasons I stepped into the chamber role, is to help create a more inclusive and vibrant business community here.
And you have a proposal for this, may get approval probably, for about 100 homes that's going to bridge that gap a little bit too.
It is, and I know there's a lot of people question whether or not you want to have a big development with a lot of homes, but the reality is people love living here and people want to move here. But if you don't create more opportunity for people to buy homes, then the homes just go up in price, and eventually the community is no longer a community. It's just a place where people come from elsewhere to go to bed at night, and we can't have that. We have to create a vibrant space where people who live here connect, they bump elbows and get to know each other and engage together in what's going on in the community.
Looking for something fun for the whole family to beat boredom, be active, and have a splashing good time? For less than the cost of going to the movies, you can bring the whole family to Splash, where the weather is always perfect, the surf's always out, and no sunscreen is required. Pack a towel and head to Splash at Lively Park in Springfield. For more information, go to willamalane.org. Splash at Lively Park. It's waves of fun.
Could you replace your home if something happened to it tomorrow? Or if something happened to you, is your family protected? A free insurance and financial review may help answer those questions. Contact me, Leona Houston, your country financial representative in Eugene, today.
And we're here with Alan and Peggy Wells, the developers of the new Coburg Inn in Coburg. So Alan, tell me what you've got planned over here.
A mixed-use project. Retail space on the ground floor, about 11,000 square feet, and then 24 apartment units upstairs.
It was going to be a hotel when you guys first started out. Now it's apartments.
Right, yes. The reason being is that we just felt that the time commitment for the hotel was just going to be too great. Market may not quite be ready for a 24-unit boutique hotel in Coburg, but somewhere down the road we might convert some of the apartment units to hotel rooms. We're not sure at this point, but
So you guys have a little bit of an announcement on one of your tenants on the lower floor now, don't you?
well, we're talking to a lot of people, but Coburg Pizza, kind of an institution in town, is looking seriously at taking about half of the ground floor. Yeah, which is kind of exciting. Actually, very exciting. Yeah, we're happy to have them on board.
So why Coburg?
Why Coburg? We live here, and we have a vested interest in making the community a better place. We love the community. We've been here about 7-8 years now, and we just we're excited to see if we can do something good for the town.